Welcome, my friends, to the YouTube version of the BJJ Break podcast. I hope you enjoy the show. If you do, please subscribe to the channel. Let's get to the show.
Thank you for listening to the BJJ Break podcast. We'll be bringing you Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and good times. We hope to flatten your Jiu-Jitsu learning curve, help you get the most out of your grappling ability, and meet your goals both on and off the mat.
Welcome back, my friends, to episode 148 of the BJJ Brick podcast. My name is Byron. I'm here with my buddy Gary. Gary, what's happening, my friend?
I'm just having a good time, waiting to record another episode, and we have an awesome one today.
Yes, we do. We've got our friend Jonathan Uzcategui, interview with him today. We're going to talk about a lot of things jiu-jitsu, so we cover a wide range of topics and just a great conversation about grappling, Gary.
Yeah, one of our training partners happened to be on a work trip and stopped into Jonathan's academy to train and said, "Boy, this guy is something else. You gotta talk to him." So thank you, Richard. We appreciate getting us together.
Yeah, big thanks to Richard, our buddy, and also a listener, evidently. At least he listened to this episode. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it very much.
We'd appreciate it if you listen to more, or at least tell your friends about it.
So, looking forward to bringing you this, and thank you for Richard for the connection.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good to get a connection, whether it's with another person or if you're a new to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's always good to get a connection because you're trying to get better. And one way to get better and also support the show, especially if you're a new person to Jiu-Jitsu, is check out Byron's audiobook. It's called Your First Year in BJJ. It's 2.5 hours of content. It's really kind of just like this show, but Byron trying to help you out through the first year of jiu-jitsu. Everything from, preparing for your first tournament, and what I think is very, very important, picking the right school. Picking the right school, one that really fits with you and your style of learning, and somewhere you just feel comfortable with is definitely going to help you on your BJJ journey and keep you in the sport much longer. So definitely check it out. It's $11.99. We got a link in the show notes, and the money goes to support the show. So definitely check it out. It's getting great reviews.
Speaking of staying connected and getting connected, we have an email list that will send you the show notes every week when they come out. So you get all the links to people's Facebook pages that we interview and all the pictures and all the different topics we cover every week in your email box. So the easiest way to get that is go to our Facebook page or go to our website, which is bjjbreak.com. And there's a little spot on there to enter in your name and email address. Boom, it's that simple, Kerry. We'll be sending you the email next time.
Hey, Byron, I got a question for you real quick. Hey, what do Rob, Sean, Greggy, and Alexander all have in common?
Those guys are like kind of like producers of the show in a way, Kerry.
Yeah, they're assistant producers.
There we go. How do they do that?
I don't know. Could you help us with that, Byron?
Well, they are our current, most 4 recent Patreon supporters. So they have gone to Patreon. They said that, yes, I want to support the BJJ Brick podcast, and there's different dollar amounts, but every episode we put out, those guys are putting up a little bit of cash to help us keep things going, help us take this podcast to the next level and really make it grow. So big thank you to those guys, and definitely looking to add to the list and keep adding some names. So if you're interested in being a Patreon supporter, go to the show notes or go to the website. There's a little video with my face on there. Sorry about that, guys. But my face is going to be on there. I'll be explaining how Patreon works. I wish, I had a good-looking guy like Gary to do it, but he wasn't able to do that video, so it's me, guys.
Yeah, I had some other modeling obligations at that time, so, I was kind of out of the pocket there.
We could get like a really good-looking model. Not that that's not going to be Gary to read the script and really explain it far better than I could.
Yeah, we have a long list of models waiting to get onto the show, so maybe one of these days.
Yeah.
Byron, we have a great quote this week from our previous guest there, Tom DeBlas. And if you want to play it, let's go right ahead with it.
Tom, do you have a favorite quote that you'd like to share with the people?
I would probably just say trust in God. I'm a big God fan. I'm a big Jesus fan. It's not for everybody, but it's definitely for me. So if I had to pick one quote, it would be trust in God. And then it would be, not so much of a quote, but my life motto is believe in yourself, have faith in yourself, and work really, really hard.
And how has your trust in God affected you, either on the mat or with how you run your business? Or give me a little bit of detail with that.
I just have faith. I don't do anything money driven. I do everything with the intent of helping people. If I want money to be a consequence of my great work, and God is the reason for that, for sure. I just want to touch as many lives as possible through jiu-jitsu, through motivation, through inspiration. And I believe I'm on my way, man. I believe I'm really, really, really on my way, and I'm happy.
But, that's a great quote. Trust in God, believe in self, have faith in yourself, and work really hard.
Yep.
And what truer words? Just believe in yourself and work really hard is basically, trust God. What it boils down to, it's up to you. Work hard, and good things will come to you.
Yep, Tom. I go, you had a favorite quote? He's a man of faith. He's, of course, that's going to pop up there, and he wants to share that in a way that's friendly and positive, and not trying to, be too aggressive with it. But definitely, you could see where he's able to go with his life and do the things he's doing with this kind of a thing and a thought in his head of trusting God, having believing in yourself, have faith in yourself, and working really hard. And I think if you took any of those away from Tom, he'd be a different person. So I'm glad he's got that, and I'm glad that he's doing the stuff that he does. Gary, we've got an interesting article this week, my friend.
Yeah, definitely. What do we got this week, Byron?
Well, we had one of our buddies, our listener, Joe Thomas. He sent us this little thing. He made like a list. He's a listener to the show. He figures out kind of an overall theme we have about welcoming people to your gym, or welcoming a new member to the gym, and how to do that. So he wrote down 5 tips of how to welcome a new student or a visiting student to your gym. So we're calling this, before we get into it, I guess, really kind of him to put this together. A big thank you. He didn't do this for the intention of an article. He just wanted to kind of make these points. And I said, hey, this is awesome. Do you mind if I throw it on the website? So this will be found at this website called IBJJF.com. You should go check it out. I think it's pretty nice, Gary. But
it's definitely nice.
There'll be a link to it in the show notes, which will also be found on IBJJF.com. So you'll find it one way or the other if you end up there. But the title is called...
So we're linking you back to us. It's our old little way of getting a little more hits.
Yeah, and you'll get in a circle and you can't get out.
Yep, you'll be stuck. And that's what we want.
That's what we want. Like Inside Control or somebody on your back, you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, yep. But number 1 is first point. Introduction is all around, and basically he's saying, make sure to greet the person. Newcomers should be sought out at this time. If you're in that gym and you see somebody you've never seen before, go over to that person, ask them their name. Tell them your name, introduce yourself, shake their hand, ask about previous experience on the mat. What brings you to town? Maybe they're here for, the dog show in town or whatever, the wrestling tournament or whatever. But it's always good to know, it can bring us some conversations and just make that new person just feel that much more comfortable.
Yeah, the instructions at the beginning just help so much. Especially if the person if it's their first day, they have probably not a real good clue what's going to happen. So you could really say, my usually comment will go, hey, welcome, and shake their hand and give my name and try to remember theirs. That's important. And I say, here's what's going to happen. We're going to line up. You'll end up over here. He'll talk a little bit. We'll do a warm up. We'll do warm up about 15 minutes. We'll do some technique. And after that, we'll roll. It's your first day. You've never rolled before, so you'll probably just watch. You might get to roll with one of the more advanced students and maybe talk about some things as you do that. But that's basically how it's going to go. And instantly, all the nervousness and all the what's going to happen next to me kind of just goes away. and they're able to just be part of the class. But getting on to number 2, a brief introduction to gym etiquette. Nothing quite like entering into, like, let's just say a really fancy formal dinner, and you're me, and you know you're breaking rules of etiquette and you're being rude, but you don't even know what you're doing wrong, so you try not to do anything at all. So that's kind of like the way it is at the gym. The person may not know it's not okay to walk on the mat with their shoe. They might not, know they need to trim their nails. They may not know that they needed a shower. But some of these things are a little bit too late to fix that day. But just let them know a little bit about etiquette. Maybe the instructor wants to be called coach, professor, by their name. Who knows? But let them know kind of the rules of the gym that they may not be aware of. Keep them from putting their foot in their mouth.
Yep, and that goes, well, actually, you may get your foot in your mouth when you get stacked, which is going to be normal, but you don't want them to put their foot in their mouth, etiquette-wise.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, and that goes back to number 1, too, where Byron was saying, he's going to talk about what we're going to do next. It's just going to make you feel that much more comfortable. If you know the etiquette, you're going to feel comfortable. You don't think you're not there thinking people are going to be talking about you and like, look at that guy walking on the mat. You're going to feel comfortable, so that's always good to get into the gym etiquette. Number 3, Joe talks about is a good roll. And Joe goes on to say he's visited gyms before, and he was unable to get anybody to train with him, to roll with him. And what happens a lot of times, especially if you don't do number 1, the introductions all around, nobody really gets to know that person. When it comes time to roll, they're just going to roll with their friends. I've seen that happen before. And basically, Joe also talks about he's visited schools where he's had a tremendous experience and some very, very good roles, very tough roles. And it boils down to guess which school you're likely to visit again or rejoin if you move to that area. You're going to go to the one where you felt a little more comfortable and people would roll with you. So definitely make sure you give some good roles to the new person.
Yeah, and that doesn't necessarily mean like smashing the new person.
No,
but it means that they had a good role. So if if you're not able to smash them, still try to do your best. And that just don't avoid the new person when it comes time to rolling. The huge benefit of that for yourself is great because you have somebody that doesn't know your game, you don't know their game, and it's almost like getting that great outside resource to come in and help you look at things at a new perspective. So. Definitely, that person should be like the most valued person on the mat time. Who's this guy? I got to roll with this person and see what it's like, especially if they're a similar rank to you. And then number 4 on the list is new knowledge. If you're a higher ranking student than the person, and you have a little bit of advice to give them, and maybe see something that they haven't noticed about their own game yet, let them know. That's a good opportunity for them to grow and to develop. And that's like I've done that before when I've traveled. Somebody's helped me out, and I'll remember this technique and I'll associate it with the place I was when I picked it up. And that's kind of a neat way to just have like a little jiu-jitsu style souvenir from your trip. Hey, I learned this detail in my armbar. I learned that when I was in Florida. That sort of thing.
Number 5. Contact information and an invitation to return. So, make sure the new student, person visiting, has the contact information for the gym. Tell them about your website, what the web address is. Tell them to go onto the Facebook page and like them. Like your page or other social media accounts. Tell them about your YouTube account, which we have a YouTube account. Most schools do. Twitter or whatever you have. Make sure they know about that. Get their contact information. Get an email. Get a phone number. Text them if you haven't heard from them and you think they're going to be a student. Stuff like that. But you need to make sure they know how to get a hold of you, and you need to be able to get a hold of them. And what Joe, sums this thing up. He's like, I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure if you can assure that at a minimum, all new and visiting students receive these 5 things, the odds are going to be very, very high that they will also be returning students. And, it's like A plus B equals C. If you do those 5 things, there's a really, really good chance. And that's what we're trying to do. I mean, if you're in a school, even if you're, you could be a 1-month white belt, your goal is to make the school better. Everybody wants their school to be better. So we need to be nice to the new people who walk into the gym. We need to welcome them, give them, etiquette, introduction to etiquette and how we do. Give them good roles, teach them some stuff, and we're going to grow our school. And as the school grows, you're going to get better. Everybody's going to get better. So, it's just it's like a car in neutral rolling downhill. It just picks up speed and gets bigger and bigger, and that's what we need.
Yeah, I think with this list and keeping these in mind, we really want to get that person who's coming in, who's visiting your gym, the best chance to actually like jiu-jitsu that they can. Some people will try it and they don't like it. I mean, somebody might not like getting smashed or getting submitted or getting beat all the time. That's okay.
Getting their foot put in their mouth, when they're getting stacked.
But if they enjoy it, that we have to get those people past the first few days to where it's not they don't quit before they actually get started, and then those people will be your long-term training partners.
Like you said, a lot of times people don't enjoy just getting smashed, just getting beat up, and especially when you're a student, been there a little while, and you got somebody brand new walking in who has no clue. That's not an invitation just to smash that guy and just beat him up. Flow with a person. Don't just necessarily destroy that person. You can do it, but we want the person to enjoy the sport. That person, if he enjoys it and sticks with it a little while, he's probably going to bring some of his friends in, and then it's just going to keep going. And your school's going to get bigger. There's going to be more jiu-jitsu in your city, in your town, and it's just going to make everything better. Yeah,
I think you kind of have to cater that first roll a little bit towards the actual student themselves and see what they need. If they're somebody who's looking to see how good jiu-jitsu is, if it really works, well, maybe they need a little bit harder roll. If they're a little bit shy, a little timid, and nervous to be on the mat, you don't need to smash the crap out of that person. That's not a good idea. They won't probably come back. Well, Gary, that kind of wraps up our article, my friend. And we want to thank.
Let's get on to the interview.
Yep, I want to thank Jonathan Thomas for writing that. If you have an article in your head and you don't have a website, let us know. You can send it to us at bjjbrick@gmail.com. Throw it on our Facebook page or whatever. And if it really kind of matches our theme and what we're talking about, or jiu-jitsu, and it's a well put together article, we'd love to put it on the page. So we're always looking for stuff like that. So thanks for Joe for writing that, buddy.
Yep, thank you, Joe. We appreciate it, buddy.
All right, now let's get on with Jonathan. He is the most interesting grappler in the world.
IBJJF does not make him register. He was the only man to wristlock Captain Hook. He once put a guillotine on the Horseman, now known as the Headless Horseman.
I don't always listen to podcasts, but when I do, I prefer the BJJ Brick podcast. Go for the submission, my friends.
All right, my friends, I have Jonathan Uzcategui on the line with me today. I'm happy to bring him to the show and share what he has. Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
Could you give us a little bit of a personal history? Tell us who you are, where you're training, and what's going on.
Okay, well, my name is Jonathan Uzcategui. I am from Venezuela. I am a black belt under Lucas Lepri. I represent Alliance Jiu-Jitsu. I am located in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I own my own gym here, 5,000 square feet gym, CrossFit, and pretty much everything you need here for strength and condition, specific created for grappling. And I started with Rubens Cobrinha. That was my first instructor. He's also part of the Alliance team. And Master Jacare Calvario is the president of Alliance. So that's the three guys where I started doing jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
And where was that at when you started?
I started here in Wilmington, North Carolina. I was out of shape. I used to train judo in my country for years. And then I moved to the United States and I took a break, a long 10-year break. And after that, I decided to get back in shape and I tried, going to the gym and I never really was the kind of person to lift in weight or anything like that. So I decided to go back to martial art. I approached a small place in town. They were doing a little boxing, kickboxing, MMA. So I went in there with the intention just to get in shape, get back into, I put a lot of weight after being here for so long, and not doing anything. And finally, I started getting back into it. And after years of training and stand-up, I got injury. I couldn't really do a lot of stand-up anymore. So I started taking more jiu-jitsu, and I fell in love with it. And I was 35 years old when I started jiu-jitsu. I'm going to be 44, so it's been beautiful. I love it. I train every day, 3 times a day, every day. In fact, when I'm ready for tournament, I have sometime between 4 times a day. I train. I love it. I highly recommend for anybody it's never too late to start jiu-jitsu. And when you get into it, allow jiu-jitsu to do pretty much everything, and, it will be beautiful. It's a beautiful experience since I started doing it.
Does your wife train?
Oh, yeah, my wife, yes. My wife, she's, her name's Hope, and people know her by Hope Aiken before we got married. She's a 2-time world champion. She's got second, forgot the year, in Abu Dhabi. She won the trials in Miami and got the ticket to go to Abu Dhabi, and fought over there, got second place. And she's very accomplished. I mean, she won a lot of tournaments, IBJJF.
Yeah.
Pretty much everywhere I took her, she was always winning everything. She got more gold medals than anybody in the gym.
She sounds like a very impressive athlete. I've heard great things about you guys and your coaching style and what's going on there. Could you maybe describe your style of grappling and how you like to play and maybe the reasons for that?
To be honest with you, it's kind of like I always tell my student, find your style as soon as you come into learning jiu-jitsu. I always highly recommend everybody, hey, try to pick up a guard and a guard pass so it become your signature when you start learning jiu-jitsu. But I haven't had one yet because I started with Rubens Cobrinha. He was more like a spider guard, and I got fascinated with spider guard. And for a while I was there doing spider guard. When I started doing this, we were doing borambolos. Now everybody's doing borombolo. So it's kind of like, wow, it changed so much. But it's still, I think, the same thing, just different ways how people do it these days. But I don't have a style, to be honest with you. Because then I started training with Lucas Lepri. He's completely different. He liked to play the top game. He's also on the bottom doing a lot of sit-up, guard, half X. So really, I like to play whatever, top, bottom, stand up. I really don't, I go to whatever, hopefully I can put myself to be better.
Absolutely. Do you have maybe a style of teaching or coaching your students?
Well, it's like style is. I try to when we are new students, I like for them to first understand what jiu-jitsu is all about. After I make sure that people understand what jiu-jitsu is all about, I try to encourage people to pick something that they like. We teach in our school all kinds of guards all month. Every month is something different, from a spider guard to X guard to the La Jiva guard, inside the La Jiva, outside the La Jiva, 50-50 guard, the modified lapel guard, what they call these days warm guard. We play and allow, by teaching so much style, so many type of guards, I pretty much encourage the students to pick something that you like, make it part of your game. And that's the way I believe that worked for me, so in a way, Like I picked something, I like it, I took it to, make it as good as possible, and then I moved to something else. So I kind of put it that way with everybody. Like pick something that you like. After you get it, you can start, branching out to something and connecting all these cars together. But everybody's different how I approach it. A new person to the advanced person. I try to put it that way.
Jonathan, you said that you like to take the new people and get them to understand jiu-jitsu. What do you mean by that?
Well, when I say understand, a lot of people come in through the door sometime, and some have expectations that it's going to be easy. Some have expectations it's going to be really hard. So when I say that, the people that I think when they walk through the door, they think it's going to be really easy. Usually it's not. So it can be discouraged. Like you're walking in and you have a little guy throwing you around like a rag doll, and you're a bigger person. That can be discouraged. So I tell that person, allow the sport to teach you. Look, if you see that person is doing that to you, would you not want to learn what he know and take the same formula that he know and apply it to somebody bigger than you or the same size as you? So things like that, if I see somebody that's going to be going to come in here, man, this is going to be hard, all that, I always take the little guy and show him also, look, if he can do it, you can do it. It's all about technique, repetition, consistency, and everything will fall in place to begin with. So you can start understanding that. From that point, you tell the person you can do whatever you want with it. You can use it for self-defense. You can use it for stay in shape, therapy, or if you want to take it to another level, it will be competition. And that will be a different approach, But that's pretty much what I try to spray with jiu-jitsu when people come to the gym.
Do different students of yours have different goals? Some maybe just self-defense or fitness or competition. Do you have different classes, or are they all mixing together and training with each other, or how's that work?
I mix them together, and it's, it's a balance that you have. I believe as an instructor have to have, like according to who is in the mat. I always partner up everybody in my gym. Nobody pick up a partner to train. We don't even have open mats in my gym. I call them training sessions where, and when I call training sessions, I let people know this is a training session, it's not an open mat. So if you want to come here, it's going to be more like a competition, when we're training, I always partner up everybody. Always. I never allow somebody to train on their own. I think to me I look at it as a bad thing for myself. I mean, I probably respect what everybody else do up there, but I think to me, it's done very well when I make sure that I don't put two guys don't know what they're doing against each other, because it's a formula for disaster there. I look at it, you always want to put somebody, and my students, the older students that I have here, they're very gentle. Very, when I say gentle, they're trying to teach the new guys, not hurt the new guys. And the new guys start learning, and then as they learn, they progress. And then when I video also all my classes. All my classes are video. I review after classes. I'll come and review all the rolling, make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. If somebody's not doing something they're not supposed to do, I will call them. And let them know, hey, try not to do that. I believe that's not going to help you. If I see somebody trying to muscle something with a smaller guy, I will be, hey, don't do that, because if you're going against somebody bigger than you, you're not going to be able to do that. So you're pretty much, I call it cheating your training. You can't do that. So it's stuff like that. I'm always, I believe teaching is, man, it's a never-ending story. You cannot approach everybody the same way. Everybody's got to be different the way you approach them. be able to read the individual when you're talking to them. So it's a challenge every day. If that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a couple more from that though. You're matching up partners all the time. Is there, like, that to me seems like it might be a difficult thing to do in between every round. Are you mostly keeping track of like the new people and who they're rolling with, or are you getting everybody paired up every time to help them get the most out of the training session?
Yeah. I do what I do after we teach class. The class is 1 hour. I teach the technique, and after that 1 hour is just I teach the technique. I review the technique over and over and over for an hour. I let them drill for pretty much an hour at technique, and after that, the rolling is always optional. If you want to roll, you can stay and roll. If you don't want to roll, you don't have. I think the rolling part it's got to be on the individual. If you want to stay and train, fine. If you don't, I don't really push that. You have to, it's necessary. You have to roll. I believe that drilling, is most important. And the person eventually, after training and drilling, they're always going to come on their own and want to train. I don't think it's very healthy to try to push people to, okay, you got to go and roll. You got to go and roll. No, I think it's got to be on the person. But you got to build their confidence if they're new, first. Give them some weapon before you throw them up there. New guys, I don't let them roll from the get-go. I let them take classes, a lot of classes. I keep an eye really close on the new individuals personally, like watching my video, watch how they drill a technique, how their retention is. I'm always on top of that. That's why I don't compete a lot, because I'm trying to keep building my school to the point that, it keep growing and growing and growing, So I think that's what I do to keep everything online. Like after that drilling, I line everybody up, and I know already who's on the floor. Like the guys are really smoother to roll. I will partner them up with somebody that is probably a little bit more aggressive, and that person hopefully will teach the smoother guy, to calm down without beating him up. Because I'm very aware of that. Sometimes the guys ask me, but this guy's going nuts. I say, well, you're going to have to teach him, but without hurting them. You don't teach anybody by, hurting them. So it's a challenge for the students that I have here. They want to, usually the competition guys are the ones they always here, and they're the ones that have to put up to the challenge with that part, teaching the aggressive guy how to calm down without hurting that guy.
How long typically is it that you will have a new person come in and they won't roll until they know enough, they have enough weapons to actually start to roll? How long does that usually take?
It's kind of like hard. Like I say, it's according to the individual. I have a video camera, and the classes are recorded, the rollings are recorded. Plus, I'm always walking on the mat, watching the new guy. I always try to partner out the new guy with the advanced guy, so the advanced guy will help the new guy, to progress, to coach and don't put your feet there. Try to, bring your body up here and balance. After I see, everybody's different. Some people have better retention. Some others don't have, good retention, so they might take them a little longer. Now, some people don't want to rush into rolling too, so that also be a factor. But it usually can be between 2, 3. I had guys that 6 months before they even roll, but they're okay because they're drilling for 1 hour. In drilling, it can be very, physical challenge. They're drilling back and forth, for 1 hour, and here, I try to make sure people don't come in and talk when they're drilling. I always encourage, man, drilling is part of who you're going to do, what you're going to do when you're rolling. So if you talk when you're drilling, you're interrupting, you're drilling. So it's pretty quiet when we're drilling here. People are it look like if you come in, you think it's a competition class, but it's not. People are just drilling. I got everybody trying to make sure they're all focused,
Yeah, I had a friend of mine stop by your gym, Richard, and he was real impressed the way that you run class. And
thank you.
He was really just impressed with this whole experience there at your gym, and so that's it sounds like it's a very focused group that you have there that's working hard at when they're drilling.
Yeah, I think the drilling to me is jiu-jitsu and fighting in general is muscle memory. You don't have time, when you're for a self-defense point of view, you do not have time to think about what you're going to do. It's got to be action reaction when you're doing these things. For the competition point of view, it's the same, or maybe even worse because that guy knows jiu-jitsu. So it's kind of like you don't have time to think about it. So it's got to be muscle memory. So I encourage all my students when they're drilling to not talk, do not, I always have that pep talk when I see the new guys trying to talk or do this or do that. Or, I say, look, you're talking, you're interfering the drilling part. Your muscle memory are getting interfered by that talking in that moment. If you're not asking a question regardless to the move, you should not be talking about, home, your girlfriend, the new car you bought. I really try to tell people, look, you made a sacrifice to come here, take 1 hour of your life to be here with us. You might start going into another hour rolling because we roll for an hour, and you really want to make this count, because otherwise you start not progressing and you get frustrated. And that's how everybody quit because they get frustrated. People don't want to drill. They just want to roll. And I tell people all the time, rolling where? You don't have any idea what you're doing. You're probably muscling your way through things. When you start getting against people that are really, really technical, their scrambling is not going to work. Your muscle's not going to work. And I can speak very highly of that. Training with Lucas Lepri, training with Cobrinha, Cobrinha. I train with Bruno Malfacini. These guys are Michael Lange. They are very, very, very technical. There's no muscling with these guys. There's no, I'm going to do this weird thing here that, it feels natural. No, it's got to be, you got to drill in order to be successful. And I learned from those guys. Those guys, they're very disciplined, what they do, very professional. So that's what I bring to the mat, what I learn from these guys. I try to pass it to my students.
Okay, Jonathan, I want to get a little bit deeper into the drilling aspect of your class. Are you show a technique and then you and me go partner off and you do it 3 times, I do it 3, and then we switch back and forth, or is it different than that? Are we giving more resistance, or what does the drilling phase look like?
We the new person never gonna understand sometimes balance. What I always tell people is balance, and we teach them. Sometimes if I see the new guys, even the advanced students, I got guys from other schools. We got a lot of guys come from other schools to my school, and they don't want to fight. They don't need to be fighting when you're drilling, but you don't need to be, I call it sack of potato, laying there like a sack of potato. So I always joke around you, don't lay there like a sack of potato, but you're not going to go into fight because we're not rolling. So I try to, when I show a technique that I know it's going to be a little bit challenging for people, instead of showing the technique right away, I show some drills. Like, well, we're working on the De La Riva. I show how to get the De La Riva. I explain the De La Riva. I explain the outside De La Riva, for example, what the knee's supposed to be doing to the person on the top, the grips for the particular technique that we're working on it. And I also demonstrate what the person on the top I want them to do to help the person on the bottom. to see it as realistic as possible without fighting. It's called balance. I call them balance. So the person on the top has to have balance. And according to what we're doing, we're looking for a reaction. I will show, exactly the person on the top what they need to be doing and the person on the bottom. So we go probably through 3 different drills, and I put them together, and then I say, well, all those drills, now I'm going to show you the technique that we're doing today. And it's all connected to those 3 drills previously that we did before. That's an example. And everybody's going to be reacting, hopefully, at that point, the way it should be reacting so the technique fall in place. When I see that in place, and then, I show the technique and I let things, keep going. I still go for 10 minutes, and I stop when I see too much problem, bring everybody in. Every time I see a lot of problems, like I walk the mat and I see maybe 2 or 3 people making the same mistake from different groups, and then I can see this is something that is going to be it's going to be a problem because already 3 different people from different groups are doing the same thing. So I bring everybody out and I explain, be careful when you do this, not to put your hands here, not to put your arm there, or whatever I see the problem is, and have some awareness. And then I let everybody go back to drill, and I keep doing it until everybody hopefully get it towards the end. Plus also the way I teach, I pick a move and I try to show for 7 days, 7 different moves from that position. Like today we'll work on De La Jiva, Tomonage. Tomorrow will be what happened when you're trying to do De La Jiva, Tomonage, and the guy react this way. There will be an arma plata or triangle or so many things. And that's how I take it too. So everybody's always, like if you miss one class, you come to the next, you'll be able to catch up with what's going on in that particular class we're doing. So that's pretty much how I try to run the classes. Always, not trying to go crazy with teaching, all kinds of moves, I have a book that I like. I lock everything. I write everything, and I go over what I'm teaching that month, how I should be teaching, and drilling the move to help out that technique in my fundamental classes. So the fundamental classes of the week, it'll be based on the moves that we're learning that week to help to reinforce the technique that I'm showing that week. And that's pretty much how I approach some of the teaching, because there's a lot of challenge, like I said earlier, when you're teaching.
How has your style of teaching, how is that different than the styles that you started with when you were a student?
Well, I don't think it's different than my professors. I think it's,
pretty similar.
My professors are very, very technical.
Yeah.
Man, they're really, really good.
Yeah. There's some of the best out there. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, Lucas Lepri, Rubens, Cobrinha. Those guys. When I started, it was a privilege to be able to learn from such a good black belts. I was impressed from day one. Where Cobrinha is, I believe, super technical. I mean, he gave me a lot of inspiration when I started. Like, with my age, a lot of people used to tell me, "Oh, you're too old. You're 35. How are you gonna learn jiu-jitsu?" Hey, I competed in adult division until I was 38, and I won some tournaments on that. And I have a very successful gym. I mean, my facilities. I wish I can show it to you, but it's top of the line. We have 2,000 square feet of zero mat, top of the line equipment. I'm pretty sure your friend probably told you when he came.
Yeah, he was very impressed by it. Jonathan, you've mentioned a couple times that you like to video everybody as they roll. Could you maybe share a story about something that you noticed while you were watching the video and how that changed the way maybe you taught a technique, or just something that you could get?
Yeah, because I can see like the guys are actually trying to do that technique in it. And I always give that kind of speech. Hey, try it. If you fail doing it, believe me, it's not going to happen day one. You're going to get a guard pass if it's a sweep. You're going to get a sweep if you're trying to do that particular pass. But if I see you trying, and when I'm watching the video and I see you're getting really close, it's easy for me to give you a tip. Listen, pull them out when they're coming to class and say, I was watching the video when you were rolling last night, and you're almost getting the pass, but you're not doing this part here. And they'll go 9 out of 10 and say, you know what? You're right. And then you watch the video again, and you see they're starting getting better on it. And then, it's beautiful because they comment to you and say, oh, I'm almost getting it, but now they're doing this. And then it's easy for me to coaching with, like, hey, when they do that, just put your hand here and you see what happens. Okay. And then they try again and they'll come back, and it's you see the progress of the student big time, and they're feeling good. They're feeling getting better. And thanks to that, I noticed that the retention of the student in the gym is better, because they're seeing their improvement. Nobody wants to come in the gym and just not improve. They want to have improvement. Yeah, you want to learn it, you want to get in shape, but when you start rolling, you do want to have improvement. You do want to feel good. Like, well, I am not a big guy on submitting, like going after submitting somebody right away. Yeah, we all look for a submission, but the beauty, like I said earlier, be able to learn from Lucas Lepre, Cobrinha, Bruno Mafassini, Michael Lange, is how they put together the submission. They trick you. You roll with these guys, they trick you. You think you're getting away with something, next thing you know, you're trapped. And the submission is inevitable. It's like, you're done. So they don't have to really muscle anything. It's beautiful. So I think when the students able to accomplish little by little that, they feel really good. They feel like, I'm not really mastering to get an arm ball or a back taking or whatever they're trying to do. So I focus a lot on, a position, transition will take you to a submission. Now go straight for the kill. Oh, you got to submit right away. I don't believe in that. It's my personal opinion. I think if you're playing from the bottom, you have to build a guard. You have to, because you can be really good doing arm bars and triangle, but you don't have a guard. Let's see, you throw an arm bar, you don't catch it, and somebody comes past your guard and put you in side control and then submit. I believe you're done. But that's in my personal opinion. A lot of people I'm pretty sure, are different the way I approach. Everybody's different. I approach it that way, and it's done very well for me. Yeah,
it sounds like it's done very well for you. So when do you watch the video, like later that night or the next day, or when are you looking at that?
I try to focus on, it's a pen. Like I come there like the next day and I sit down for like 30 minutes and watch maybe one line. And something in my eyes get, after a while, it's easier to watch the videos and catch up with what's, I always, when I watch a video, I started looking into the guys that are a little bit more, moving more around the mat to see why they're moving, so hard, or they're doing something that I feel like, it caught my attention. Then from there, I start weeding them out. I got those two, and then I go to the next two, and then eventually I kind of start nettle everybody down to the point that I feel, okay, everybody's getting better, not getting better, or I need to put more into, this and that. Plus, also, I train with all my students. I train with all of them. It doesn't matter who's in the mat. I train with my white belts, my blue belts. I got 2 black belts. I train brown belts, with my purple belts. It doesn't matter. I train with everybody because I got to lead by example. Like, hey, with my competition team, I tell them, hey, you guys got to do this. I have to do it. If they see me doing it, they feel like, well, if he's doing it, I'll do it too. So, I train with anybody who walks through the door, to show that, hey, there's no ego. If I get submitted, I get submitted. If whatever happened, I got many black belts that visited, and I'm always welcome to train with you. I think you should train with everybody. I mean, that's just my opinion. To test, to see what you're doing, what you need to work on it. Not with the intention to beat everybody. I try to, especially my guests, I don't come to my guests and jump into it. No, I mean, I pretty much let them set the pace, how they want to go, and according to how they do it, I'll adjust to it, But I train with my students that also, when I train with them, I'm also able to review the improvement of the student. I honestly think that every instructor should always train with their students, Sometimes it's hard because you got a lot of guys, but sometimes, some point during the month or a year, you should have some kind of training with them, because when we roll, I don't sit down. I'm always rolling with everybody. So, but I always have one guy watching the floor, making sure nobody hit bombs or fall on top of each other or, do something they're not supposed to do. I highly recommend when you come in and read the rules. They're on the wall. Make sure you understand the rules of the gym. What kind of submission you should be doing, you should not be doing, And when somebody's a guest, I always roll with them first because I know exactly how that person's going to go, and then I'll be able to put him with a person that, they need to be, I think, rolling with it.
I like that. You roll with the guests first and kind of see what they're about.
Yeah. Because not everybody, I tell you, I probably have one incident, 2 incidents before, guys come in and I call them gunfighters. They just come in to just, try to beat you up. And wow, I never was like that. I still not like that. I go to a gym and you would not even know I was there, buddy. I just keep it really low profile. I don't say anything. Whatever the instructor tell me to do, you just got to put yourself like, hey, you stay home on the sport. That's the best way, you're going to be able to learn and deal with the sport when you have a bad day. If I stay home. So that's the way I look at it. So because I had an incident, like maybe 2 since I opened it. Guys come in and just trying to, I don't know, just try to kill you or something. And wow. So it's always good to have the video there just to make sure.
So,
guys.
If you get one of those gunfighter guys that's coming in there trying to kill you and really treating it like it's a big important match, so you roll with them first, then what happens? Do you pair them up with somebody else, or do you tell them to hang out on the sidelines, or do you give them to?
No, it's all according to after the first roll. After the first roll, if the person still feel like they want to bring, they probably stay with me there until I feel, you need to calm down. You didn't come here to learn anything or try your jiu-jitsu. You came here to hurt somebody, So I keep it with me, and I always try to keep, I never lose my cool, no matter, I got, hit before, lip busted, eyes, I never lose my cool because it's like, you got to teach the person, hey, jiu-jitsu, it's a sport that should be helping you to calm down and relax, not to get you all worked out. So I keep it with me sometime, and usually I got some guys that are really good on the mat. Always the competition guys are here twice a day. They're always here, so after they get maybe 2 rounds, according to the guy, if the guy's super, intense, you get him every once in a while. But after the first round, I'm very thankful, the first round go and they're relax. So I let them go with somebody else, but I already know who that person should be going with, because I already feel like this guy's here. He's here to, I don't know, I call him to fight the world championship.
Yeah.
So you kind of like direct into somebody on the mat that is going to match their intensity and try to keep it that way, not to go to the extreme and make it into a world championship. So that's pretty much what I do, and to, that person calm down and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I think from my experience, the people that come in as a guest and go, world championship mode or gunfighter mode, they're really not all that skilled sometimes, and maybe they're lacking a little bit of confidence, and they just want to, just treat this as something that's not. And so the good thing is they're not usually that really tough to deal with. Usually, the more experienced people, the people that are really good at jiu-jitsu, understand that this is not a big test. They're in as a guest. They're wanting to get some training in, and a hard roll is a good thing. But there's always that feeling like this person is really trying to get after me, versus a nice clever submission or a nice move that that was beautifully executed. You feel that intensity sometimes.
Yeah, I mean you know what I'm talking about. It's just people it's I believe there's their ego. Hey, I gotta tell you, I have in the past, even black belts joking around, you hurt my ego, it's like, come on, man, it's jiu-jitsu, man, if you, I don't know if you come into, I'm gonna go into your school and try to jump on you. I never, but once again, the way I learned jiu-jitsu was when I never saw Cobrinha or Lucas Lepri or Bruno or Michael jumping into somebody. No, it was always very methodical, and they always pretty much allow the person, hey, you're gonna set this roll. I never had that experience, so I learned from them. It's hard. It's not, I'm not gonna say that it's easy, but I believe you have to train. I mean, I train like 3 times a day, every day. When I'm not competing, twice a day, 7 days a week. I train 7 days. Well, actually, I go from Monday to 14 days, and then I take 2 days off, and then I go 14 days again and take 2 days off. So I take 4 days off during the month. So I'm always training. It's just like, I'm always keeping myself really, really active. Drilling and rolling, because that's my job. I don't have anything else to do. It's just jiu-jitsu, eat very healthy, rest. Most important thing, I rest a lot when I'm not doing jiu-jitsu. I don't do nothing else. Maybe I go to the beach, lay down, get some sun, go back home, rest some more, go and study jiu-jitsu, and then, train. It's never nothing else. That's all I do. So you get guys that walk in and do jiu-jitsu maybe twice a week, and it's drinking sometime here and there, and it's not gonna be the same. And I think people need to understand that when they walk to a gym, have a little bit more. Man, I tell you, I train with some purple belt, blue belts. They're 24/7 in the gym, and these kids are no joke. But they're doing the same thing I'm doing. They're training every day. They're disciplined. It's a lot of discipline. I believe when you have in a school, you have to have a lot of discipline. A lot of discipline. That's the way I approach this. Yeah. And it's been done very well for me.
I want to make you more maybe relatable with a lot of the audience. We have a lot of white belts and a lot of blue belts listening. Jonathan, what were you like as a blue belt?
Oh my. I was very, very aggressive as a blue belt.
Yeah?
I didn't want it to, but it was just because Cobrinha was very pushy, like in a good way. It was very, Jonathan, challenge yourself, do this, very encouraged. So your expectation, look, you're training with this guy and you want to be this guy. Like that's my idol. Like I want to be like this guy. Wow, this guy's great. What does it take to be like? And you train with him, you do condition with him. It's like ridiculous. He just, are we done? No, we're warming up. You kidding me? No, we're warming up. So, oh my God. So, and you see him training when he's getting for a tournament. So you want it to be so, in the beginning, you're kind of like, wow. But I think everybody has to have their expectations to it, what am I doing with this? I wanted to compete from when I got into with him and I started training with him and I wanted to compete. I saw him and I said, I want to be like that guy. I want to compete like he does. I want to have my own gym. I want to do things. I want to be able to do seminars. I wanted to do, be successful. And I also had another black belt, Rafael Dos Anjos, came to me and said, Jonathan, jiu-jitsu is good. You can pay your bill with jiu-jitsu. You can do everything you want with jiu-jitsu. But you had to commit to jiu-jitsu. I said, So it was, I wanted to do it like, so maybe because I was 35 and I felt like, dang, I'm running behind. So I was pretty aggressive. But as I started before I got my purple belt, I started to settle down more, be more relaxed, more methodical, to like now. I try not to never go nuts, when I'm rolling or anything, or go too hard. White belts is a thing. I think as the instructor had to, remind them all the time. I have a thing here in the gym that I tell everybody. Crawl, walk, and then run. Don't try to run when you don't know how to walk. Or don't try to walk when you don't know how to crawl. So just go easy on it. Take it day by day. Push a little bit today if you want, according to what they're trying to do. Become better. I always recommend everybody take 2 classes a week. See how that do. If you feel you need more, we'll add it to another class. And then as you see it, you keep adding until you feel you had enough. But don't try to do it over one training session, one roll. I always encourage white belts, blue belts has a purpose. You gotta have to have a purpose when you roll. No, just roll for the heck. Well, I got a Kimura today. How do you got it? I don't even know how I got there, but I got it. So, I look at it like you're not going into the roll with the purpose. Today I'm going to work on my sweep. I'm going to work on my recompulsion. I'm going to work on my escapes. That way you improve. You know what it works, what doesn't work. And it's easier for you to ask questions to your instructor. Hey, I have a problem with this. And it will be easy for the instructor to answer that question. Okay, because you're not putting your hand there. Instead of going through the whole entire move. You understand? So,
yeah. I think that's great advice to go into the rolling with some objectives, some things you actually want to work on versus just going to roll. And I think for brand new people, the easiest thing for the objective wise is learn how to escape bad positions because you're going to be there automatically. Exactly. You're going to be in bad spots. So why not? I think that's frustrating for people to be put in those spots. But if my plan is to escape side control, well, now I can do my plan because the guy passed my guard very easily. Now I can try to do my escape.
And you can set it up like this. If you're on the bottom, and this weekend we're showing sweeps, try the sweep. That will be your game plan. I'm going to try the sweep the instructor taught today. I'm going to go with the mindset. I'm going to try that. My second plan B will be if they pass my guard, how to escape and regain that guard back and do it again. They pass my guard again on the trial, I escape and regain my back. And believe me, you approach it that way, next thing you know, you're like, you know what? I noticed nobody passed my guard that easy. Or when they do, I regain my guard again, and I'm trying to move the toe, so I'm learning something. But the problem that I see, when not here, thank God, but when I go to places is the instructor teaches the student something, and everybody else doing something else. Like, nobody's doing the technique was taught today, or even try, just to see what happened. Everybody's just like throwing, I had it in the past, students, they come in and they sign up from another school, and you kind of let them see what they're doing, and they come with something that is not working, but they keep trying it, and it's not working, and I approach, hey, why are you not trying this move? That I talk to, they see what happened, and they don't do it. They just do something else. Oh, they go on YouTube and watch a video and try to do a YouTube move to another student, and it doesn't work. And they get discouraged because the other guys are doing what is being taught in class, and they're pretty much killing it with the same move over and over. And you hear, man, you keep catching me with that. I said, well, maybe you start listening to what the class, pay attention. I always tell everybody, especially white belts, you do not go to school to teach yourself. You go to school to be taught.
Yeah.
So if you are coming in the gym, sign up a membership, buy a gi, do all this, effort to get enrolled into a school, right?
Yep.
And you don't apply nothing they're teaching you. Why you even bother? I tell them, go and buy a bunch of mat, go into your garage, start teaching yourself jiu-jitsu. See how that go. Maybe it'll go well for you. Maybe it's not going to go well for you. Find out on your own, But don't come in and try to spend all that money, all the time, all the effort, and you go to the gym and you get discouraged. Everybody's beating you up, and around in my school, everybody do the same thing, until you defend that, and they'll switch to something else. The counter for that. But I tell everybody, if it's working, there's nothing to fix. If you catching that sweep back to back, don't go, I'm tired to do the same sweep. No, I call that live drilling. Keep drilling that thing until that person react differently. And then you say, oh, now he's doing that. Wait a second, there's a move when they do this. I'm going to apply now that move. And that's it. There it is. I call that playing the chess. To me, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I really like how you encourage them to do the techniques that you showed them today, even if it doesn't work. There's different levels of learning and understanding. You show them the technique and they drill it. You showing them the technique is really just exposing them to something that's out there that they may not know. They drill it, they get a little bit of exposure to it, but they still don't really understand it. But if they could do it while they're rolling, they start to understand the technique.
Oh, you see their faces. It's like I say, it worked. Every school is different. Every instructor is different. I just love, sometimes, look, I'll put it this way. I got white belts that have been training for a year. And these guys put you in spider, lasso, and sometimes you're like, you're kidding me. And then you get white belts, you get some blue belts that come in from out of town, or purple belts, and they get to roll with the white belts, and they're like, what the heck was that? This guy's throwing spider, lasso, a combination with some X-guard, and doing borombolo, and half X to 50-50, and the purple belts, you see the purple belts' face is like, even the purple belt in the end catch up because their timing is falling in play. You can see that was pretty good. This guy, it was a good roll. And my student get to see, wow, this actually worked very nicely. So it's good. I mean, they go home feeling, wow, I'm learning, I'm progressing. I'm just going to keep following up with my sweep. And right away after a year, you start seeing that person. Oh, that guy is a spider guard. That guy like to X guard. That guy sit up guard. That guy's half X. That guy over there love the 50-50. That guy over there watch the ball with that guy. Everybody start getting, now when that happened, I give him the speech. When you're in the room with all these guys are doing all kinds of different guards. and somebody need to get ready for a tournament, you know exactly who you need to call. Well, I need to play. I have problems with Spider Guard. I'm going to call the Spider Guard players in the room. Today, I'm going to work on the sit-up guard. I got a lot of guys that are on the room today. Oh, they're sit-up guard. I'm going to call them over here. You know, it's beautiful. You see everybody getting really, like, their faces. And then when they go to tournament, they win tournaments. You know, but I'm more happy when my guys win a tournament than when I win a tournament. I really don't care.
Yeah.
My wife always look at me. I get the medal, put it in the bag. I don't care. But when I see my guys winning tournament, their faces, you don't understand. I get emotional when I see that. It's like, oh man, this is awesome. You know,
yeah,
it's awesome.
And I like how you're saying that you, let's say you're getting ready for a tournament and you have trouble with the Spider Guard. Well, I've got this handful of guys over here that you're going to have to really work with those particular people. I mean, that's just some of the parts of having a great team that the coach knows who do you need to work with and where. And then, so that's going to strengthen that part of your game. If nobody at your gym has a good Spider Guard, you're going to be in trouble if you get put in there. So that's part of the team aspect of things.
And then, like I say, the competition thing here, they love it because, you know, there are all kinds of body weights here, links, and, you know, I had a guy that I promoted, probably like, 2 months as a purple belt, you know, and he told me, hey, John, I wanted to compete in the Worlds. I said, okay, well, go. You should go. I mean, you're a brand new purple belt, you know, you just got your purple belt. You've been training with me for 2.5 years. You know, I think you should go. Definitely. Why not? Just go. And he went, he got 3rd place. You know, he lost against the guy that won the everything. And let me tell you, it was really close. He looked pretty good. And he came back to the gym and right away, hey, I noticed I had a problem with this type of, and I knew exactly. We'll start working right away with this guy. Because they're going to bring you that reaction. And indeed, you can see already he's fixing that thing already as he came back from the Worlds. He got 3rd place after 2 months of being promoted. Not even 2, I said 2 months. Oh, yeah, 2 months. And he got 3rd place. He got 3 matches. It was really impressive how he won. I was very happy, you know, and my wife was like that too. But she was a monster when she was competing. Boy, she'll come in the gym and the same thing. Hey, I have a problem with girls that are doing this. So I said, wait a second. I got this person here that will give you that reaction. So I'm going to put you in there with them. And they're going to put you there. And then we work on to what you need to fix. And she'll go to the tournament and she fixed that problem. And you can see her face. Wow, that was awesome. That was easier. You know, and it make a team stronger having that kind of like, you know, when you're competing. You know, also for the guys that's learning because, wow, I had to deal with Spider Guard. I had to deal with this. I had to deal with that. So when somebody walked through the door, there's nothing really they haven't seen, you know. They're taking them by surprise, you know. Yeah. And it's kind of cool. You know, I'm still new as a coach. I look at it. You probably know that there's a never-ending story of learning in jiu-jitsu. And I look at it. A black belt is a dirty white belt to me. I think you never end learning. You know, I feel like every day I walk through a door, I feel as a white belt is the same. Like when I started, I feel like I don't know anything. I gotta keep getting better. You know, I'm very critical of myself. Like, I mean, I feel like I don't know anything. Jesus Christ. I got to get better. I got to drill more. I got to, you know, fix this, fix that, balance this better, do, you know, study, you know, why this is not working, you know, and getting it better.
Yeah. That's a great attitude to have. We're always students. Sometimes we're teachers, but we're always learning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The day you feel, and I tell everybody, tie that belt one time. one time only and don't look at it. Because when you start looking at that belt too much, that color get to your head, and now you're not even wanting to improve. You're fighting so hard to not let a white belt pass your guard. You're fighting so hard to not tap if you're blue against a white belt, or if you're purple against a blue belt, or if you're brown against a purple, if you're black against a brown, because you're like, all right, I'm not going to, fight him. I'm going to fight him to the end because I'm not getting tapped out by a brown belt because I'm a black belt. Look, if I got a brown belt that tap me, I'm going to be like, well, I need to work on that. I look at it that way. I need to work on that. I'm not going to go, oh, well, it's not that I'm not good. I made a mistake. Maybe I was trying something that day, working on something. I made a mistake. And I tell my students that it better to happen in the gym than happen in a tournament. Because in the tournament, you're out of there. In the gym, you can shake hands and do it again and fix it.
Yeah, and you're really lucky that that teammate is able to do that for you.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, Ale, the way I train here is for myself. I always got 4 or 3 guys fresh all the time. Even if I'm competing or not competing. I think it's a good way for me to stay in shape, because I don't like to do a lot of condition. I only do condition for when I'm getting ready for a tournament. Other than that, I'm not into going over there and lifting weights or anything like that. I'm small. I'm like 155, and I do not like to lift weight. I feel like, oh my God, I'm so lazy with lifting weight. But I keep myself, always keep some good guy, good purple belt, good brown belts. They always pushing me, and some days I come in and, well, today I'm going to skate, I'm going to work and skate. I tell my wife, she always asks me, what are you working today? I'm tired. I'm going to work and skate today because I think that's the best thing is I feel like I'm escaped from a lot of things when I'm fresh. But when you're tired, it's when the test begun. So me in particular, I do that. And I tell my students, I work skate when I'm tired. I'm not going to work skate when I'm fresh.
Yeah.
And they see me doing it, and they go and try to mimic that. Go and work and skate when you're fresh. Nobody's going to hold you down when you're fresh. But what happens when you're in deep waters? How will you skate when you're tired? You got to rely on technique. There's no going crazy here, crazy there, and wiggle your way out of this. No. It's got to be technique applying in that moment when you're tired. Because you cannot use too much physicality. Yeah, physicality is going to be involved, but it's got to be where you put the hand correctly, where you put the foot, where you put the pressure in there to get out, for example. So, I approach it that way. Like I say, everybody is different.
Yeah.
I cannot speak for everybody. I'm pretty sure like every instructor, or student go different with this. That just, for me, the formula worked very nice for me. I got a very successful school. I got a very successful team. I pay my bills with jiu-jitsu, I do everything with jiu-jitsu, so it worked for me. So, it's never too late. You're never too old. You're never too out of shape. I look at it as no excuses. Don't look for sizes. Don't look for, I'm not big enough. No, I'm 5'5", 155, and my school is very successful. I got a nice facility, huge, crowd. They come here every day and train hard. The competition team always bring medals, gold medals, silver medals. We never come empty-handed. I'm very thankful for that. I always tell everybody, we're never going to win all of them, but we never go to a tournament as a group and come empty-handed. We always bring a lot of hardware for those guys who are competing. The guys are here for the shape. I had guys that lost 70 pounds just doing jiu-jitsu. I train a lot of armed forces. That's how they come here, and they use it for therapy. You look at their wives, they're, oh man. Sometimes when he's acting a little, I tell him, go to the gym. I'm going to call Jonathan. They always play with me like that. So everybody, it's jiu-jitsu for everybody. I look at it, if everybody do more jiu-jitsu on the street, I think we'll have a more peaceful life up there.
Yep, I know it makes me a more peaceful, relaxed person to be around. So my wife always appreciates me getting out of the house and going to train.
Yeah, definitely. Like I have people that come through the door and you can see they're stressed out and they come on the master and I tell them, look, my friend, let me tell you this. You're already in here, right? Yes. I see you're really stressed out. There's nothing you can do, whatever problem, to fix it right now in this moment, in this time. Because otherwise you would not be here. So now you decide to come in, completely forget about that. Let your training go in. Forget about whatever it is. Sometimes I ask them, what's the problem? If they tell me, I say, well, can you do something about it right now at this moment? No. So train, get the workout, focus on this. Don't even think about that. And I promise you, because I do it all the time, by the time you finish, your mind probably be so clear that you start thinking about that problem better. You know what? I could probably fix it this way. And it work. To me, it work. And guys that sometimes when they listen, you can hear them say, yeah, man, I'm glad that I came and trained last night or yesterday morning. I went and deal with this. It was better. And thank you for the advice or whatever. I said, well, I told you. Just let jiu-jitsu work. And I promise you, it's easier to deal with a problem. So it's a therapy. You want to lose weight? Oh my God, you can burn some calories doing this. You want to get physically strong for self-defense? Oh, unbelievable, the strength that you get doing jiu-jitsu. You want to compete? Whatever you want to do with this is, man, I got guys that are 60, my older students here, 60 years old. He trained almost every morning. He's here training like crazy. They love it. So I look at it that way. It's therapies, whatever you want to do with that. We should all do more jiu-jitsu up there on the street. We'll have happier campers on driving and everything.
Yep, I agree. Jonathan, you've got me all motivated, and it's jiu-jitsu is whatever you want to do with it. That's a great thing to say.
Man, it's anything you want to do with this. And the beauty of jiu-jitsu is that it's growing like crazy. You know, I started this. I got already 2 affiliations, you know, and it is unbelievable. It's growing like crazy. You know, in the town that I am, we have some schools here. I mean, I think it's business for everybody. And we're in a small town, and we got probably 1, 2, 3, we need 4 schools. I mean, I got a lot of people in here. I'm pretty sure they're doing well. And it's business for everybody. I love the crowd jiu-jitsu. People are nice. You know, I travel all over the United States, and everywhere I go, people are very welcome. You know, they make you feel like home. That's also on top of everything else, when I got people that visitors, man, I make sure they are treated the way they always treat me when I go places. You know, make sure they're welcome, make sure they never forget they were here, because everywhere I go, people treat me so good. I feel like, oh my God, this is awesome. The jiu-jitsu community is awesome, man. You know, but you gotta stay humble. I believe in that. Don't go into no gym, try to be no gunfighter. You know, my white belts always in blue and purple. They go somewhere out. They always tell me, hey, I'm going to be here. Do you have any advice? I say, well, search the area and see who that is, you know. Read the reviews and base into that. And if I know that the school or the affiliation or the instructor, I say, oh, yeah, go over there. They're really good. I always encourage everybody to train everywhere, too, you know. Just be careful when you go places. Because not everybody approach it like I do, or maybe you do, and not everybody's going to do that, you know. We don't live in a perfect world. Some people are going to come in and, try to hurt you. I tell my students, be careful. You go places too, be able to recognize somebody's trying to hurt you or they're trying to roll with you, they're trying to work with you,
Yeah.
So
that's
good.
Yep, that is great advice. Jonathan, I've had a great time listening to you today and learning from you. Do you have any final words for the audience?
Well, like I say, try to take it a day by day. Don't look for excuse. Say, oh, I'm too old. I started this at 35. I'm going to be 44. And I tell you, I train more now than when I was 35. Every year, my wife, I tell her, every year I say, I got 5 more years. I've been saying this for 5 years. I got 5 more years. And she always look at me, are you crazy? You train more this year than last year. So just take it day by day. Build up little by little. Listen to your instructors. Be a good training partner. Allow jiu-jitsu to work on you, because otherwise jiu-jitsu will beat you. Like if you're going in there with the mentality, I'm not gonna learn anything. I'm not gonna listen to anybody. I'm just gonna, and then somebody else is gonna come and put you in your place, and then your ego get hurt, and then you get not to learn anything. So stay humble. Listen to the instructor. Make sure when your school, you're learning also something, no? Make sure you do a resource, for the new guys before you sign up in a school. Find out who the instructor is. Find out, that's the thing, if you really want to do jiu-jitsu, with the background of the instructor, it's very important. I think that also help out the new jiu-jitsu community, is to find out who are their owner. That way, their progress is good. Because if you get an instructor that is not reputable or is not teaching you, you don't feel improvement on it, and then it affect your jiu-jitsu career, and then you get discouraged and you probably get your blue belt and you quit, So make sure that before you get into a school, do the homework, see who they are, the instructor, what they're doing, if they're involved and very active in jiu-jitsu, what their accomplishment, find out a little bit more about the affiliation, who, all the things, information is up there these days. It's easier to really get to know who you're going to be training under. After that, take it day by day. The formula is crawl, walk, and run. After you get that start nailed down with patience, you'll be able to learn and improve. And the journey is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And the best day is when you get your black belt, and the most difficult one. Because then you're like, I got to start all over again. So that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
No, thank you for the opportunity. I hope maybe one time you come by and train with us. Yeah,
I look forward to the opportunity to. If I'm in your area, I will definitely give you a call, my friend.
Oh, definitely. We'd love to have you here. Okay.
All right, thank you, Jonathan Uzcategui, for the interview. Pleasure talking with him. Pleasure getting to know him. I'm just excited to share his jiu-jitsu thoughts with everybody, and it's always good to find another great coach. I enjoy interviewing people like him. So, and thanks to our buddy Richard for the connection there as well. So glad that worked out so good.
Yep, and also I know we always talk about. If you've got an article, send it to us and we'll try to get it on the show. But if you know a great instructor or somebody who trains jiu-jitsu you think would be great on the show, hey, get us in touch with that person. And we'd like to try to get that person on the show. So it goes both ways. You can help the show out and become an assistant producer. There we go. That's true. Yep. There's more than one way to do that. Gary, this is the time of the show that is some of the listeners' actually favorite part, is where we get things. Time out, Byron. Time out. Can we skip this part this week? No. Pretty please?
Well, we'll see. Well, if you don't have anything for this, we'll just move right along. But you always produce something that's so funny and so odd. And so a lot of times...
You, try to build my self-esteem.
There we go. Build you up, not break you down, Gary. Yep. Sometimes we have other segments, but we don't have any this week. So if you have a funny or amazing jiu-jitsu story, go to our website, bjbrick.com, and type in Matt Tales in the search bar, and you'll find the episodes that have Matt Tales in them. And we love to present your story in a similar form with some music behind it and maybe a little dramatized and really share that with everybody because people like those. But we need help getting those, and we don't have any this week, Gary. So that puts you on the spot. That spotlight is honed in on you, Gary, and it's time for Gary's audiobook.
So I'm just going to send a whole bunch of Matt Tales in myself.
You sure could. You could do that.
Okay.
If I start recognizing the names of the people in them or the actual stories themselves, I'll know. But it's still, Gary, you can still send in your own Matt Tales.
Note to self: change names of people.
There you go, especially Byron. So this is a time of the show where, I've made an audiobook. Very accomplished audiobooker here, it's doing all right, Gary. But Gary's yet to make one, so I keep throwing out ideas to him, and he'll kind of fill in the blanks about what the book is about. The catch is Gary has no idea what the book is called or even what it's about. This week, Gary, your audiobook is called Foot in Mouth. Try it again. Foot in Mouth, the unknown move called The Dentist. And I guess you've been working on this revolutionary technique called The Dentist, and I don't really know how you pull it off or how many people are involved or what. But tell us a little bit about this book.
Well, the way this all started is one time I went to the petting zoo, at the local zoo. And after I left, I didn't feel very good. I was feeling, terrible. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor said I had hoof and mouth disease. And but because my ears were clogged because of the fluid in my ears, I thought he said foot in mouth disease. And I was like, well, I've been told I've had that before. But so that got me thinking, foot in mouth. And I was like, boy, I bet I could use that as a jiu-jitsu move. And you know how I always am. I'm always thinking about jiu-jitsu. So we started with hoof and mouth disease. I thought they said foot and mouth. And then my jiu-jitsu brain starts working. I was like, I bet I can make that move work. I bet it's a great idea. And I use it for the people who don't wear their mouthpiece, or as the guys in my gym call it, their Charlie piece. So what it really is I've been working on different chapters. I mean, we've got the setups. First is, always we're going to pull guard. There's no such thing as a takedown. We're going to pull guard. And basically, once we pull guard, then we're going to have to get top position. So what do we do from there, Byron?
I really don't know. Maybe a sweep?
Sweep, yeah, because we're going to get to top position. But basically, we're going to, once we get top position, then we're going to work on stretching that foot up towards the mouth. And we've got two different ways. I mean, there's A and B, because they could be wearing no mouthpiece, and B, they could have a Charlie piece in. So if they do have a Charlie piece in, then we're in a little bit of trouble.
I'm not getting the Charlie piece. What is it? What is this Charlie piece?
Oh, it's a guy we trained with named Charlie, and he's a little rough, so we call our mouthpiece the Charlie piece.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
I got you.
We call it the Charlie piece. Or I'll just call it mouthpiece so everybody else knows.
Okay. We're all on the same page now. Do whatever you... it's important for the book to have its own terminology, Gary, so you're doing great.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's two ways we can work on these techniques. And I've got them broken down into different chapters. But the first time where the foot is connected to the leg. And from there... it's going to be a little bit harder because the hamstring is a very strong muscle, and the gluteus maximus is a very strong muscle. But we're going to work on different techniques to get that foot up to the mouth. And we don't necessarily even want to knock the teeth out, but it happens. It's sometimes like if you're in the hospital and you have to intubate somebody, sometimes the teeth get knocked out. And this is the same thing that happens here. As we're trying to put the foot in the mouth, sometimes it just happens. The teeth get knocked out. It's that's what happens. That's why you sign a waiver. We always have people sign a waiver, and we look to make sure they have a dental plan. If not, the great thing is I am now licensed to sell dental plans, so I'll sell them a dental plan before they step on the mat, and that way I make a little extra money.
Gary,
so, hey, that's another audiobook in itself.
The dental plan. Yeah, I'm glad we've defined and decided which body part is going in which orifice, but whose foot is going in whose mouth.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. That was
because it would be a lot easier to get somebody else's foot into your mouth, but that sounds terrible, Gary.
No.
Okay.
We're using the guy you're rolling against. His foot is going against his mouth.
I would tap.
So that's
immediately.
what I'm saying. It's kind of a tough situation.
Yeah, I would be tapping.
It's not easy to do, and that's why the second half of the book we talk about after you've ripped the foot off of the body. It's a lot easier that way.
Oh.
And I mean, we're doing stuff like I don't know if you've ever trained with Rolly Delgado, but he talks about his straight ankle lock with a turbo grip.
Oh, sure.
That turbo is brutal. And so, I mean, that turbo almost feels like it's ripping your foot right off. So, I mean, I bet if you did it really hard, you could take that foot right off. And then it would be easier, to get up to the mouth cavity. So, we're going to go through little things like that. We're going to, maybe use the exit wound move, that Nathan Orchard likes, which, can also take the leg right off. You're going to get a little more of the foot. You're going to get some of the shin with it. But, then we can put it up towards the mouth cavity. So we have a couple different options. And but it just turned you into a well-rounded grappler, and which I don't think a lot of people had that. So if you do end up if you're on a farm and you do get hoof and mouth disease, and you go to the doctor, think about how far, foot and mouth has come from hoof and mouth disease. So,
yeah.
It's really, some of these veterinarians have advanced jiu-jitsu for us. So we owe a lot to the veterinarians around the world.
Yeah, every year or two, some kind of a alteration or a new technique kind of just comes by, and it becomes like the thing that everyone's trying to do. Think this will happen to the dentist technique here, or think it'll be different?
Oh, absolutely no, not a chance.
Not a chance, because it's so terrible.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, because it is. Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't practice this at home or without a financial advisor with you.
Yes, and if you the one of the biggest problems with if you actually remove the foot from the person's leg is they usually tap. So that, you don't get the opportunity to finish off the technique that way because it's already over.
Some people, I mean, have you ever seen Paul Harris?
Yeah.
He doesn't quit when people tap. You don't necessarily have to do it.
I think he would be the one that could pull this off, rip the foot off completely,
he probably
and
could.
then, get it in the mouth there. That sounds terrible.
Yep.
Gary, this book is not going to do well, I can tell you already. But I like your...
I don't really expect to make money off the book. But, hey, if anybody's looking for a dental plan, give me a call.
Hey, Gary still needs somebody to help him with the photo shoot for the cover and all the pictures inside the book. So we'll see if he gets anybody.
If anybody has a high pain tolerance and weak bones, please get in touch with me.
And a small foot.
Yes, or a large mouth.
All right, Gary, let's get out of that pool there and head on over to somewhere else that's not so violent or ruining my lunch.
Yeah, as usual, I've ruined the show again.
Just the lunch, not the show.
Okay.
One way you can connect with us is on social media of your choice. We've got the Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, other ones as well. That I think we're on Pinterest. We are on Pinterest, and just wherever you are, we'll try to be there as well. The YouTube, our Facebook is our. We spend most of our time. Our YouTube area is where we're trying to grow the show a little bit. Trying to make things happen there a little bit more than they are. So if you're looking for some more BJJ Brick action, check out the YouTube channel.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of checking out, do not miss our show next week. We've got kind of a unique show. Make sure you tell all your friends and training partners about it. But next week we have Brett Lillard on the show. And I don't know if some of you guys have seen this article, but Brett Lillard owns a company called GovSmart. And he basically has all his salespeople train in jiu-jitsu, and it's led to more sales, less absenteeism, better health, lower health insurance premiums, and it's just kind of like a ideal job probably for anybody who listens to this show. It'd be great to be on work for a company like GovSmart that, first of all, it's a very, very successful company. But secondly, you have a leader who, trains jiu-jitsu, values jiu-jitsu, and has his people train jiu-jitsu to make a stronger workforce. So it's kind of a unique interview next week. And I just remember reading the article the first time I saw it, and I was like, man, this is awesome. That'd be a heck of a company, and just the brains of Brent to figure out how to make his team that much stronger. And, the bond, as you know, the bond you have in jiu-jitsu, imagine having that same bond in the workforce. It's just going to make your company that much stronger.
Yeah. So great conversation with him. Imagine going to work and a lot of the people there train jiu-jitsu. Gary has a situation, but Brent's doing it. The company that Brent co-founded has been on the I think it was Forbes, a list of the most promising companies in the United States, and it's very fast, one of the fastest growing companies. So and he credits a lot of that to jiu-jitsu and the social dynamics of the company. So awesome to hear this interview coming up next week, my friends.
Can you imagine how many resumes he's going to get from our listeners?
Oh, man. The interview was a terrible idea. Sorry, Brent, but here comes a flood of resumes from people across the country.
We won't give them your fax or your email number just to say you.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Send your resumes to Brent Lillard. Oh, man. Don't do that unless you're serious about getting a job with him.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, and if you happen to be coming through the Midwest of the United States, we're in Wichita, Kansas. Send us a line, and we'd love to train with you. And we'll go through Joe Thomas's list if we do train with you. We'll welcome you. We'll get your name and give you some etiquette, how we train, and we'll go from there. But so definitely send us a line if you happen to come through the area.
Yep. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely want to thank everybody for the recent growth we're getting in the podcast, and I think a lot of that is from people telling their training partners, check out the podcast. This week I learned about this, or however you want to share it with your training partners. Do that. If they don't really know how podcasts work, get out their phone and show them, and get out your phone and show them how you download an episode, and really invite them into the world of podcasting. There's lots of other shows to listen to as well, but a lot of people don't even really understand what's going on with the podcast. You don't even have to have an iPhone, any type of phone. You don't even have to have a phone. Your computer could play a podcast as well. But
I listen to mine off the computer, so that's all you need.
Yeah. So thank you for everybody who's told somebody else about the show. That's really been very helpful in getting the show to grow. So it really means a lot to us.
Yep. Hey, and I actually did forget. I meant to go about this earlier, but we talked about Rob, Sean, Greggy, and Alexander. They're all $3 per episode show supporters on Patreon, which is a website for content producers. But so if you do pledge $3 per show, like those four, we will send you a 5-inch BJJ Break gi patch anywhere in the world. Our normal gi patch, a 3-inch, we only send free to the United States, but we'll send this one anywhere in the world. So that's not. You're paying the $3 not for that, but it's just our show of appreciation to get it to you. But you'll also get on our private page where we call those guys assistant producers. Like before a show, we were talking about Brent Lillard there, and Byron asked, "Hey, do you guys have any questions for him?" So you'll get to be part of the show. You'll get to help with the content there. So, a couple little cool, neat things there. But we'll put a link to it on the show notes, and check it out, Patreon.
Yeah, there's only really two ways to get into the BJJ Break private Facebook group. Is to be one of our trading partners, or to be a Patreon supporter of any amount. And we'll get you on the page, and you could actually, kind of see what's going to happen. Hey, I'm going to interview this person. Which they ask. That's one of my favorite things that I do on there, and really get your feedback and get you to be part of the show. And we get great questions that way as well. So thanks for bringing that up, Gary.
Yeah. Actually, we're just too lazy to figure out our own questions, and that's the real reason Byron didn't go over that part. But actually, your questions are probably better than our questions. So that's I'd like to get a little diversity going.
Yep, it always helps. Well, it's been a great week. We look forward to bringing you the show next week. As always, stay sweaty, my friends.
And don't forget to shower. And if you need a dental plan, hit me up. Actually, I'm just kidding about that part.
Thank you for listening. I hope you find the time today to roll. After all, the best way to get better at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.